Happy are those who drive a Corvette, those who go on cruises, the rich and the famous, the lottery winners, the vacationers, the jet setters, you add whatever you want. They are all the blessed, the happy, the lucky, the most wonderful people. You hear Jesus saying something different. And he doesn't say something different because he's masochistic. No, it's not. I think there is a deep, deep truth in the Beatitudes, in this passage that we just heard. And this truth and this wisdom goes deeper than the surface. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm tired of platitudes and all the I've heard that again. I've been just rolling my eyes. Well, this is a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and it invites us to pay attention to a part of us that maybe sometimes we try to shove away or move away or try to keep subdued. There is a part in each one of us. I know it from myself and from all the people I talk with, that is not as visible and shiny and flashy on the surface. And that happiness and fulfillment is not found in all those things, but on a deeper level. And I think it depends a lot on how you define success. What is success? What is success? Can you measure it in dollars? Can you measure it in accomplishments? Can you measure it in Guinness World Record books? How do you measure it? And Jesus says there is a very specific way how to measure success in the Beatitudes, and it's totally different from what you and we may look at, or what society and cultural values seem to hold up to us. So here, a morning prayer of someone who is not the stellar person, or who thinks success is found in driving a Ferrari, or a Lamborghini, or Maserati, or whatever those names are. Dear God, so far it has been a wonderful day. I've not been angry and upset with anyone. I didn't tell anyone, mind your own business, or get your nose out of my business. I haven't been grumpy. I haven't been overindulging. I haven't been angry. But in a few minutes, I will get out of bed, and then I need a lot more help to make it through the day. We all know those parts in us. We know our limitations. And I think when Jesus in the Beatitudes lifts them up and says, there is something to the broken parts in our lives where healing can come when we open up to them. One of the social scientists or psychologists, social workers, Brené Brown, you may have heard of her. She writes a lot about courage, about vulnerability, about being your true self, who you're called to be. And that courage, being courageous, being in that ring and the bullfight, is to actually show up with all you are, to be visible with all your brokenness, with all your limitations, She's picking up that same theme that many spiritual guides, and I think all the great spiritual guides through the centuries have lifted up and have lived, that there is a spirituality of imperfection. Imperfection. You want to be real who you are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have this mask on. Just be real. Be real. Show up for who you are. And encourage people to do that, others as well. When Jesus says, "Blessed are those who mourn, those who are grieving, those who lost what is dear and close to their hearts," isn't that very real? That is so real. We cannot run from that. We cannot run from losses in our lives, so we can try to always follow us, to be real with that. And Jesus shows us how to deal with that. When Jesus' friend Lazarus died, they had called him, Mary and Martha had called him and the friends of Lazarus, and he was late, he was held up, and he was talking with others on the road. And when he finally came to Bethany, Lazarus had already died. They already had buried him. And when Jesus comes and he realizes his own friend died, he tears up and Jesus cries. The Savior of the world, the mighty creator of the universe, cries, my friends. If Jesus can mourn, if Jesus is grieving, can we not also? And when the crowd around him see Jesus, that he's tearing up and crying, they comment, "Look how much he loved him." What does it mean? That tears, that mourning, that grieving is a sign of love. Look how much he loved him. Grieving is a sign of love. Or someone else said, tears are prayers without words, but they come from the heart, from the soul. We get sometimes this message as well: stop crying or I'll give you something really to cry about, or you gotta hold it all together, you have to tough it out, all of that, trying to. I think there is a soul part to it, that the Beatitudes try to engage us with and encourage us to be in touch with our deepest longings, with our losses, with our joys, with our limitations, with our frustrations. And what I love about the Beatitudes is that they invite us to be real. Now, we have 8 Beatitudes. They are the core piece, the Beatitudes. And they're called Beatitudes. It comes from the Latin beatus, which means blessed. So when they translated the Greek into Latin, it became beatus, and it stuck, I guess. Happy, blessed. They're the Beatitudes. And you know it when you have heard the beatification of some Catholic people before they become canonized or saints. They are beatified. They're like blessed. They are visible sign that somehow they reflect the goodness of God through their lives and through their faith and through their actions. These are a few of the 8 Beatitudes that speak to me. One that is deeply, deeply and important to me is blessed are the peacemakers, peacemakers. And it has a very active word in it. It's not about, well, give me a break, leave me alone. That's not what it's meant here. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers that are doing, that are engaging about a peaceful way of being. And some of the first steps of being a peacemaker is to listen deeply, trying to listen from where are you coming? Help me understand, not what's wrong with you or you're crazy. So withhold a little bit of that judgment call and pushing someone in a corner or looking them in the wrong light. The first thing you can do if you're working for peace is looking and trying to understand and going into it and help me understand. And then I love the beautiful, beautiful image of Ibu Patel, one of the faith leaders in the interfaith movement, who says, you know what? Bridges have never fallen out of the sky. Bridges have never grown out of the ground. Bridges have been built by people like you and me. Bridges of understanding, bridges of connection, bridges of listening, of caring, of having an open heart for others. I think that's the basic thing, what it is about. How we look at each other, how we talk with each other, how we listen, how we care. That's where it all starts. And I deeply believe, like our Susquehanna Valley Mediation Center does phenomenal work. Because once you're in court, you're beyond listening. You're fighting about win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. All have lost already there, I think. Mediation works like a deep listening. Tell me what is important to you. Why is that the case? What is on a deeper level? Why does this matter? And when you are being understood and heard on a deeper level, the humanness comes out, and you recognize there is humanness in each one of us, in each other. So, blessed are the peacemakers. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful core message that we all can take to heart? Another one to me is, blessed are those who are merciful. And our today's language, I would almost say, like those who care, those who are compassionate, those who have a heart. Have a heart. Isn't that a beautiful message? Have a heart. You don't need to fight or have a heart. You're blessed if you have a heart. Beautiful, beautiful. Eight Beatitudes. I think they go to the core of who Jesus calls us to be. And that core, put together with Micah 6:8, it's one of the most beautiful passages for me. When Micah says, it's like the whole gospel, the whole Bible in a nutshell, everything in a nutshell, in one sentence. 3 things you ought to do. Do what is right. Do what is right. Do justice. Do right. And we know what is right. We know it. Deep down, we know the right thing. Second one, love kindness. It's not about loving the kindness. Have a heart. Be compassionate. Be kind. Be caring. And the third one, I would say be yourself, be humble, know your limitations, know your place. Don't get too inflated. Don't make yourself too small. Just be real, be you, be humble, Be yourself. Mm-mm-mm.